Hi, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well.
So I just want to kind of give you a little bit of backstory really quick on how I kind of want to run this a little bit.
Sure.
So my whole thing is about the during COVID, we had something called the zero bail policy, where people who committed nonviolent felonies were able to be cited and released without any bail and stuff like that. And
Correct.
that has since made a resurgence in LA counties and the surrounding areas as well. So I just want my whole project goal is to just try to spread awareness about this. And Lincoln actually brought you to my attention saying, "Oh, well, my stepmother was actually a part of the police department during this time, and she has some experience with that." So
Right.
um, I wouldn't say this is necessarily like an interview. It's more like, let's hear your experience and your thought process behind it.
Yeah. So, and I was telling Lincoln, and I know I mentioned to you too, because obviously I don't work in LA County. I work in Riverside County.
Mm-hmm.
But I just got home, so my dog is like, "Can you please give me
Yeah,
attention?"
it's not a problem at all.
Um. Okay. Awesome. Do you see? Mommy's busy right now. Okay. I'm talking to one of Lincoln's friends. Okay. Um. So the thing is I dealt and still do where I am now with like very serious crimes, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I was a sexual assault and child abuse detective. And so when I was even like during COVID, the people that I put in jail would not get factored into that. So
Yeah,
basically the zero bail, I'm sure you're aware, it factors on like the severity of the crime, and this most of like the serious felonies that I would deal with would not fall into that.
okay.
So typically, I mean, but I know from experience, right? I've been in the police department for 16 years before I just moved over to the DA's office. But typically what happens is people who, steal, right?
Yeah,
Whether it's mail theft, car theft, burglaries, anything like that. They're going in and they're getting right back out and they're reoffending. And I mean, it's just like a never ending process. And in fact, during COVID, a lot of times they would get their sentencing, right? Like automatic sentencing, and then they would just get released because of COVID.
yeah,
So it
right.
was it was really frustrating. I mean, I'm lucky because like I said, the work that I do, like they stay in there, but my partners would just get super frustrated because it's a lot of work to even put like a filing packet together
Yeah,
to present it to the district attorney's office. And it's like, it's pointless. They write all these really long reports and nothing ever happens.
yeah, right.
So I did see the no bail thing is came back around in like October or September of 2023 for LA County, right?
Yes, correct. Uh huh.
Okay. Yeah.
And so what's happened right now is LA County decided that they were going to reinstate that.
Mhm.
And I think it is about 14 of the cities inside of LA County are suing LA County over this policy because they're so angry about it. Is because they don't want to put up with it anymore.
Yeah.
Lots of the research that I have done throughout my project is showing the negative impacts on the community. So I want to ask you: have you like heard any stories or feel that there has been an impact because of this policy in either Riverside County or just what you can observe through other counties as well?
Well, I mean, I would say yes. There was an effect on it, especially during COVID. Um, but I mean, it's kind of like this never-ending battle. I mean, even right now that I just moved over to the district attorney's office in January, and we are right now, like literally right now, I've been in court all day for a jury trial from 2018 is when it came out, right? So we're talking, it's been 6 years
Yeah, that's a
that
long
this
time.
poor family has been trying to, get justice. And I mean, COVID set back so much as far as courtrooms and, I mean, they literally stopped doing cases for months and months on end. So, I mean, the zero bail policy, it's kind of one of those catch 22s, right? Because there is no space. They like the space in the jails is awful. but they just need to find a better system because
Hmm.
these people know that they're going to get right back out. So they don't even care. Like they legitimately do not care about the crimes that they commit.
Yeah.
And who's frustrated? The community.
Right.
But it's not law enforcement's fault. It's not the district attorney's fault. It's
Yeah,
literally,
of course.
you know, I mean, our amazing governor.
Right, right. Yeah. Um,
Um,
go ahead.
yeah. No, I was just gonna say, yeah, it is terrible, the system that's in place. I can honestly say I'm very grateful that Riverside County has an amazing district attorney. Hestron is very he he's very fair, but he is not anything like LA County. So,
Right.
I'm hoping that doesn't happen. But I mean, he's not the end all say all for all these policies either. So,
Yeah, right.
but he's motivated, and I mean, I just feel like very lucky that we have Bianco and Hestron in our
Right,
corner for now
right. Yeah.
because like LA County is just it is going downhill quick. And we have several attorneys that have come over from LA County because of how difficult it is over there. And it's very interesting because the cases that we file here in Riverside, they would not even touch in LA County.
Right, right. Yeah. So when it comes to like what you were even saying is the repeat offender type thing, right? Is that these
Mhm.
people they don't have any regard for the crimes that they've committed and they get right back out and they continue to offend. Um, what I know you like you were saying you haven't had direct experience, but part like the stories from your partners.
Mhm.
How many of those people that commit a crime that go back out and recommit crimes because of this?
Oh gosh. I mean, it would be hard to put a number, but like I would see a lot of like emails from the detectives working those cases, and there was a man that I cannot tell you how many open cases. I want to say there was like 20 open cases on this guy that
Wow.
he just kept, getting out and getting out and getting
Mhm.
out and getting out. And it's crazy. I'm like, I don't even understand. But I mean, it's really difficult for me to put a number on it because like now we're just, Riverside City.
Right.
So we're a small portion of Riverside County. Riverside County is huge. Um, but I mean, yeah, I would have a hard time putting a number on it. I would say probably just in our city alone, 20 to 30
Wow.
repeat offenders.
Yeah, that's crazy. I think one of the big things that kind of led me to become like to choose this as my project was um, I want to say where I live in Riverside, kind of by the police department off of Magnolia.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's where I
yes, I
worked.
live. Yeah, I live right around there. And there's a street called Golden, and
Yep.
Golden is off of Magnolia as well. And
Yep.
one story that I remember seeing on the news was that a lady whose name is Darlene Montoya, she was released from a different like
County.
jailing system. I don't believe it was Riverside at all. But then she
Mhm.
came to Riverside and she ended up without any reason or hesitation she came and she stabbed an elderly woman to death that was just walking her dog. And that was just a few years ago. I feel like
Yes,
that was back in 2021. So that was
I
during
do
COVID.
remember that.
Yeah. So did you hear any more stories on that or anything like that? Specific incident?
As far as her, no, but so Lincoln's dad was working in homicide when that happened. He
Mm-hmm.
used to be a homicide detective, so he's a sergeant now. I mean, he's
Mm-hmm.
still there, but like, what do you know what her primary charge was? I don't remember.
I can probably look that up. But I know. Oh, yes, it was because she hit somebody with a skateboard earlier. She hit somebody with a skateboard. That's what I heard, and then she got arrested for that, and then released because of it.
Wow,
Yeah. So.
interesting. And yeah, so that 2021 is like the prime time of COVID stuff going on, honestly. Because I mean, 2020 is kind of when it started, but like I feel like the ripple effect, kind of happened after that.
Right,
I like
right.
it is absolutely blows my mind how much COVID has.
Affected everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
interesting
crazy.
enough, right now I'm also working on fraud stuff for COVID because all these people, maybe another time you have another story. All these people filed for unemployment while in jail. And
Mm-hmm.
it's a felony to apply for unemployment while you're in jail because obviously you can't be working. But like the state lost millions of dollars because they paid them.
Right,
It's
right.
crazy. Like it's just insane. I don't even I don't even know where to begin with all the problems that COVID had. Sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, off topic. Um, so yeah, that is pretty interesting. And I do know that there from time to time, like let's say there's habitual offenders, that will happen when they get released. They're like, oh, let's take you over to Riverside first because Riverside has obviously a prime jail location,
Yeah.
and downtown Riverside is notorious for all of that. So
Mm-hmm.
I absolutely believe it that they did that.
Yeah, yeah. So
Frustrating.
that was probably definitely the thing that was like, oh, I remember that incident. That seems like something I can spread awareness about. So that's kind of
Right.
why I decided to do that. But
That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah. Well, is there any other things that you can think of that you've done when in your 16 years of policing?
As far as what?
Whether it just becomes about people repeating crimes, or have you seen like any other activity that could be related to the COVID effects, or the policies that were put into place? Any policies that you were
Um, well, like I said, I think the biggest effect that it's really put on things is the cases, right,
Mm-hmm.
that are filing. So what's happening is because there was no court cases for, I want to say, I'm not exactly sure how long, but I know it was a while, maybe a year. And the backlog that's now has since happened is that attorneys are getting smart and they're saying, oh, well, because there's a bunch of different things that have to happen for a jury trial, right? Like they have to go through a preliminary hearing, but there's so many, rights that the defendant has. Like they have 10 court days between, this day and that day and the last day. And because there's no courtrooms, these attorneys are saying, well, no, my client won't waive any more time. And so what will happen is the case is now getting dismissed because they can't try the case in time and they'll have to refile on all those
Right,
cases. And I know
right,
Heston just put out a pretty big statement about that in the last year because and it's absolutely true. I mean, I'm seeing it right now. I came over there with, I mean, I have a case from when I first became a detective in April of 2017 that still has not gone to trial yet.
wow,
So yeah, and I mean that there's several within those years that I were still waiting. Now, luckily those people are in custody, but some of these people are bailed out and they're waiting their time because they're like, oh well, I'm out. Like I don't even want to deal with the court thing, and it sucks
right,
for the victims in those cases because their predator or whatever it may be is just sitting out enjoying life.
right, right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's a super frustrating process.
Cool.
I have a hard time being on the law enforcement side and then like seeing all the rules that apply to the lawyer side. They have a
Yeah.
lot of things they have to go by, and I'm like, that doesn't seem fair. Like, you know, anyway.
Right, right. Yeah.
Um, but I can try to reach out to like the one property crime detective that I know put out that email. I'm sure he'd be willing to talk to you. Lincoln said you were trying to get a hold of somebody.
I was just he had mentioned your name, so I was just trying to get a hold of you. I have a couple other family members, and I know the old chief of Placenta Police Department, so I'm gonna talk to him about that as well. So
Okay,
yeah,
cool. Well, if you end up needing like, other things, let me know and then I can reach out to my one of my buddies and
cool. Well, I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, for sure.
of course.
Yeah. Anything else you care to share or want to say?
Not that I can think of right now.
Okay, cool. Well, I thank you very much for your time and everything like
Of
that as
course.
well.
Hopefully I
So,
helped out. I was like, I
no,
told
for
him, and I
sure.
was like, I don't know.
For sure. It helped out a lot. I really appreciate it.
Awesome. Well, good luck with your project.
Thank you very much. It was nice meeting you. Have a great rest of your night.
Nice to meet you too. Thanks. Bye.